You talk about your team, the way they fed off of the goaltending tonight?
Yeah, no, I thought, I think this was, it's 5-8 for us, I think, in games. They're all hard, they've all been hard games. I thought we got off to a little bit of a slow start, and our goaltender was really good early, and, he's been good, last two games, especially when he's been in there. I thought we sort of got our legs under us in the second. I really liked our second. Took an unnecessary penalty and sort of, changed that a little bit. But we got through that, and then I really liked our third. I liked our third a lot, and it's a good hockey team over there. They're well coached, and they put a lot of heat on you, and they can skate, and they got some big bodies. So it was a battle. I liked the mindset. We just got off to a little bit of a slower start, but other than that. Two good hockey teams. You look at the scoring chances, probably even tonight.
You think we go back to that game against Florida here a couple weeks ago, where you guys had the lead and weren't aggressive, and every win since then seems like when you've gotten the lead, you've done what you needed to do.
Well, after that, that was there's games that happen during the season that you want to learn from, and our meeting the next day was pretty well about let's get the right mindset on how to protect leads the right way. Don't be scared of it. Go after it. Do the right things. Make the right decisions. Stay fresh. Have a good F3. Win your board battles. All the things, and just stay on top of it. And as I use the term, the guys went to school that day, and we've been fortunate to have leads and finished off the right way.
You're sitting in first place. How important is that for your team's confidence right now?
Well, it's got to help the confidence, but I just think playing the right way. I look at it. We look at it week to week. I thought we had a really good week because we paid the price. We played the right way. We had heavy commitment. We executed when we had to. Got a big penalty kill or a power play goal when we needed it. Got goaltending, and we get a day off, and then we'll worry about next week. So we just take it game by game. So. But I think when you see the level of commitment and the level of work ethic and what they're putting into, you'll have success. If you get full of yourself, then you won't have any success. The reason that we're having success is everybody's committed, everybody's working, everybody's accountable to each other.
Hey Barry, the penalty, the delay on Leo at the end. What's the ref seeing there? And
well, it's sort of a new rule. One of the things that's been put in the NHL is, and we were big culprits in Washington last year, is that we would throw a bunch of guys on the ice, we would delay, all that, and the league's doing the right thing. They're trying to speed up the game. They're trying to do all that. So I think Leo was trying to buy a little time there, and for his teammates, and the referee sort of called a bluff, I guess, if you will, and that happened, a few games back where we had the advantage on that. So, but we just have the league's being stern on that.
And also, just in general, the stabilizing factor that Leo has been on. Maybe some of the younger players are in the room. What have you gotten from Leo this season?
Well, I just think from Leo and Phil, there's a reason that. They're on this club, and is that they have good character. Obviously, we had inside info on Leo. Obviously, with Lou, having him in Toronto for a couple of years, knew what he brought. And sometimes as an opposing coach, he's a sort of a pain in the ass type of player. Sometimes where he gets under people's skin and all that. So. And as an opposition coach, you see that, and you see he can kill penalties and all that, but you don't see the intangibles because he's not there day in and day out. But the intangibles, game in and game out at practice, probably on the road, he's one of those guys that forces you into the battle. It plays the right way. Him and Phil both do that, and they've been really good adds for us.
After your second goal, your captain went out and had a pretty
monster shift.
I mean,
that whole group of you talk about great leadership and moments where you can just pull everybody with you. And our bench was going crazy when you see your leader grinding and handling pucks down low and throwing people off of him and just, basically playing the right way so that your team's going to have an advantage and wear down the other team and the clock. Because mentally, if you're trying to, tie the game up or trying to get up ice and you can't get the puck back and, he was a beast down low. Him and Casey and Clutter were down there. They were doing all that, and we followed up with a couple of shifts. I think Phil's was next shift, and Phil and Leo and those guys were doing that. So, being on the other side many times, you're trying to get it tied up, and all of a sudden you just wasted a minute because you couldn't get the puck, and you're worn out, and you're the next group up, and they can't get anybody on. It's such an advantage for you, and it's such I'll say a great example, and Leasy did it the right way there. That'll be on the systems video next year. How to protect the lead right there.
Brock Nelson seemed like he was matched up against the Taylor Hall line quite a bit tonight.
All night.
What'd you think of how he handled that challenge?
I think he did it. He was excellent. I think that whole line was excellent. I love the fact that Brock continues to grow. I think he grows in confidence. He's growing in his role and his trust. I have a tremendous amount of trust. I think he's one of the better two-way players. I mean, he's cerebral. He does the things the right way. He's got a real good skill set. And then when the game's on the line, you can sort of put it away. You can look for the pass, and he sold it, and he made a good shot, and that gave us a little breathing room.
Coach, with all the teams and leaders you've coached in your career, are you impressed with how Anders Lee has just come in and taken on the role as captain?
Yeah, it's very difficult. What we put, obviously putting the C on Anders, it was an easy decision. The tough thing for Anders is he's replacing basically the face of a franchise for a number of years, and there comes a burden with that initially, and then there comes a comfort with it, and I'm really impressed that he's taken that role. He's been great as a captain. You talk about a guy that day in and day out does a couple things. He's a true pro. He works every day in the right way. And more than anything, he takes care of people. I mean, he's a team first guy, and so for me, it was a really easy decision. But I'm glad that he's taken on that. They're getting a comfort with it, and to me, you have the right people leading you. You're going to have success, and Anders has done a really good job. And I know that's a difficult situation because how popular JT was and what he's done for this franchise, and you know the whole story. So there is a burden that comes with it, but he's doing a great job with it.
Anthony Beauvillier, it's only 1 goal in 12 games, but you're keeping...
Who's this?
Beauvillier or Beau.
Yep.
You're keeping Beau on your top 6. What's the reason why you're patient with Anthony since the start of the year?
He's 21 years old, and he's got abundance of talent. I think he's going to be a productive player. I think he's going to be a core player for us. And in this job, sometimes it's all about winning. There's no question. But you also sometimes in this job you are short-sighted because it's not a development league; it's a winning league. But I'm trying to look long-term. I'm looking long-term. This is a valuable player for us, a good person, a young man who had, just like probably like Matthew, had tremendous success last year. If you remember last year, I wasn't here, but what I was told that Beau didn't have a great start last year, and he went down to Bridgeport, and then he came back and had a real good second half. And Matthew, he didn't quite have the start that he wanted, even though he's almost a point a game, which is pretty good. So that says a lot about his ability. But they're playing the right way. They're playing the right way now, and they're just, that whole line is much more reliable. They're much more predictable to themselves as a group and their teammates, and they'll be productive. So I'm not too worried. The work ethic's there, commitment's there, the ability's there. It's just getting some production and some results. So if the work ethic wasn't there and the ability wasn't there, then he wouldn't be there.
Last question.
Barry, I know it's still early, but what does going 6-0 in the Metro Division tell you about your team?
It's a tough division. We got to keep going. That's what it tells me. It tells me that, I don't know. It just, when the games get ramped up, we haven't been too small about them. I mean, there's teams when you get ramped up in important games, 4-pointers, division, whatever. How are you going to respond? Are you going to get small in those moments, or are you going to get big in those moments? And we haven't flinched. What I like about us is we've just been calm. We haven't got too high, too low, and that's what we need to do. We just go about our business, play our game, play it the right way, play it with a team concept, play it with commitment, play it with work ethic, and we'll get results. And we won't be changing a whole lot of systematically. We won't be changing everything every 3 days or something. We'll stay to our game, and we know our game best, so that's going to be our best formula.